Hey guys, what's going on? Back again with another video. As you can see by the title, it's going to be about a location called Spike Island, and this is going to be the most ironic video I think I made in a while, because it goes back to something prior to the announcement of Black Ops 4. I think we were in between, obviously, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and I think we were like on World War II zombies and Infinite Warfare zombies. And I think like most people, we make a list or a couple ideas what we would want in a new game. Kind of like what we're doing now with the next game that comes out in Call of Duty, probably 2024 or 2025. I think at this point we're not exactly 100% sure which one's going to have zombies. But after Black Ops 3, prior to Black Ops 4, I sent this idea to Treyarch, and it's going to be the most ironic thing that it was just staring in front of us um, the whole entire time. So in Mob of the Dead, so this is going back now about maybe exactly 11 or 10 years from now. I always saw these spikes and the hooks, and it could have been a red herring. It could have been just the way that Treyarch hides Easter eggs. I always thought it had to do something with Hellraiser, because in Hellraiser there's all these hooks, and it has to do with being tortured. But then you see the spikes, and if you look at it now and you think back of all the locations on Alcatraz Island and Mob of the Dead, there's literally spikes everywhere. There's spikes on the mystery box. As you can see, there's spikes on the wall. There's hooks. There's spikes on the door. And again, this all makes sense, and the whole reason for this is to have people see how important it is to solve Easter eggs. Go back and look at the old ones, and when you solve the new ones, you know it's going to help you go and solve the old ones from years ago. Stuff that Jason and the devs have talked about, that there's Easter eggs we still haven't solved yet. And I've solved a lot. I've literally solved probably dozens on top of dozens, and just to see that there's more still out there that has been unsolved for like a decade, maybe going on to 15 years now, pretty soon. But again, you can see that there's spikes everywhere, and I just thought it had to do with like Hellraiser or some just type of horror aspect to it. But it actually makes a lot of sense. Again, there's spikes on the mystery box. And I just happened to take a couple locations. So the location, as you can see, it's called Spike Island. And the thing that you have to understand is the way that Treyarch and Call of Duty makes zombies map. They don't just take one idea, just Alcatraz, San Francisco. They pump in multiple ideas. I don't know if it goes back to even maybe on, if you think of Asylum or Verrückt, how the zombie story formed over the years is whatever the fans saw is what they went with. Now, like I said, flashback to maybe 10, 11 years ago, if we had come up with some theory with the spikes, or kind of solved that it was based on Spike Island, you know, I think maybe Treyarch would have went down that route. But I think what they do, whoever, I don't want to say really content creator, but whatever what theory the fan goes with the most is probably what they're going to go use for future games and future maps and stuff like that. So again, if we had solved this back then, maybe we would have got more Spike Island stuff. But for now, it's just like a little Easter egg. Again, Mob of the Dead is based off of maybe 3 or 4 different locations, not just San Francisco, Alcatraz. That's just the main like red herring or top layer. Below that, there's so many different layers that we would have to have known over the years. Some of it I've talked about. This one's brand new that I've never talked about. I just literally just realized it last night or yesterday evening, and I was like, wow, that all makes sense now, that all these spikes were just a hint to a location, Spike Island. Now, you're probably thinking it's clickbait, but I'll show you exactly how it makes sense. Again, it's the same exact story. There's a couple prisoners that break out of it. I think it ties into Black Ops 4 with the canoe. There's a photo or a sketch that the Weasel does of the canoe. I know they tied it into Tag Your Totem at the end. The secret location had to do with the canoe and stuff like that. But I think these prisoners in their version, they broke out, I think, in the 1800s or early 1900s. There's 3 guys that broke out. They hijacked a canoe or some type of rowboat from some guards that were coming to the island for their shift. I think they kind of planned it and then they attacked them, stole the rowboat to get off the island. So I think that explains the whole sketch from Blood of the Dead. So I think, like Jason said, and they always say, the devs and Jason and Treyarch, is they'll keep giving us more and more clues till we finally solve it. But now looking back, this all makes a lot of sense. I think the word Cromwell is in one of the Call of Duties too. I have to go and look that up because Cromwell is definitely in one of the games. So I don't know if that was a hint. Again, the island is Spike Island, and it's in Ireland. And you'll see here it all makes sense because if you flip upside down the Mob of the Dead plane, you see the Irish flag in the green, the white, and the orange. And this is the way that they have it. And again, it's been staring in front of us the whole exact time that they give us the Irish flag as a hint. And again, it just goes to show, it blows my mind, for like 11 years. This Easter egg and clue has been sitting in front of us and nobody made the connection. Something as simple as flipping it upside down would have solved it, and then for them hiding it like that in plain sight, unless somebody on Reddit figured it out like 12 or 15 years ago, because I know that happens a lot where people try and pretend like they're the ones that solve stuff. So I'm not saying I'm just noticing now. I don't know if anybody did back then, so if they did, let me know if anybody finds anything. But I just think it's amazing that they hid this Easter egg, and it explains a lot right in front of us. Again, so this is the Irish flag, and Spike Island is is off the coast of Ireland. It's same thing, a prison where they sent their war criminals and stuff like that. I'm not going to go into too many of the backstory of the prison and stuff like that. I mean, I should have included the one about the mobsters, unless I did, but I don't think I did. Okay, that's the end of it there. But again, this is the Irish flag, which this is the plane on the roof. Right in front of us the whole time, they gave us the orange, the white, and the green. And if you flipped it upside down, you'd have got the Irish flag that would have hinted to Spike Island. I probably did this backward, as a matter of fact. But it would have gave us the hint that Spike Island is one of the locations, aside from Alcatraz, and another location, I think, in Europe that Mob of the Dead is based on. So there's multiple locations. There might be more. There might be type of Alcatraz style prison. This is described as that, as an Alcatraz style prison. It's a floating island off the coast of Ireland, obviously, and it's something that I sent them, like, hey, we should do this location for Black Ops 4. It's like the craziest ironic thing to realize now that it was actually why we have all these spikes all throughout the map, that it was a hint to Spike Island. It's so crazy now thinking about it. Anyways, I'll leave it at that. I'll see you guys later.